Great to be back in our Espresso bar here today, and yeah, we're going to shoot just a bit live for a little bit. We're going to make some coffee. This is my first long black for the day. Guatemalan Los Arios, isn't it? Los Arios, Finca Los Arios. Beautiful, nice, sweet, juicy cup of coffee. Hope you've got a coffee ready to start your day, and I hope it's not as chilly as it is. Beautiful sun here. The winter's starting to come upon us here, and it's just getting a little bit chillier. So the jumpers and all the hoodies are out. We've got the lovely Pay here as well, hiding in the background. And yeah, we'll start to get busy soon in coffee. So if you're joining us today, please ask some questions. We've got Ryan behind the camera there. He's going to read them out to me so I can answer them for you. And yeah, look forward to sharing, I don't know, maybe the next hour or so with you, just talking coffee, answering questions. It will get a little bit busy here in the bar, so we'll just have to pump a few coffees out, so excuse us. But keep an eye on what we're doing. Probably one thing that I'll refer to is how to handle busier moments with two people. At the moment, our till is pretty challenging, so we do get stuck on that side a little bit, which we need to change. Yeah, once we're pumping them out, we don't want to ever see too many shots all built up and not the milk, so I'll try and start to froth on the other side. Actually, Paya, do you have another blue cloth? And we'll get one there so that I can steam on the other side. So that'll be a good, fun little moment just to see how we do that. Maybe to quickly talk you through it, the person who's on milk should ideally, before they pour out the latte out, while they're letting that milk settle and pour out for the milk, they should just get the next milk ready and pass it down to the other person so they can froth it, and then you can ideally get two orders out at the same time. So that's something I'll try and show today a little bit. G'day Ben from London, good to have you here. Oh man, I need to actually change that just a smidge. Or can that go higher? I just can't.
Yeah, we'll adjust that.
Adjust that just a smidge. The reflection, just I can't see. There we go. Thank you. From Ireland, g'day. How you going? Great to see you. Brilliant. Have you had a coffee this morning, Paya?
Yes, I have.
What did you have this morning?
I have pickle.
Piccolo. Single origin or blend?
I have blend.
Blend. Cool. You like the spicing it up a little bit with singles
Yep.
and things? Yep. Oh, you got the flashy light. Oh, this is our winter challenges. I'll just show you. We've got this. We are literally in a factory, and there's a big roller door there, and that little gap brings the sun right in on our heads. So we do struggle to try and keep that one. See, look, keep going. Oh, it's the other one. No, that one's okay. The other one's got to go down. Yeah, but the other one's got to go down now. Woo! Blinded by the light. Yeah, literally can't see. Oh, g'day from Romania. Hey, how are you? Vietnam. Woo! Good to see you. You got any questions for me? Start answering them, and I will start to answer those for you. All the best from Warsaw, Poland. Beautiful. We've got a few crew around from around the world. It's great to see. Yeah, got any questions? You know, you've got not many there live at the minute. Opportunity. Actually, there's 131 people live at the moment. Cheers to you all. If you're just joining us, we're just going to go live for the next hour. Unfortunately, a few sick crew, and Jimmy's away today, and we're just going to be live for the next hour making a few coffees. I'm having a beautiful Guatemalan single origin Finca Los Arios. I try and remember all these ones every single month. It's beautiful. How do you know any other languages? Not really. I studied Italian all the way through, and I thought to myself, through school, and I thought, you know, I'll never use Italian, I don't need this. And now I'm in an industry where I could really need to know how to speak Italian. It was embarrassing, actually. I cheated all the way through Italian because I had 4 older brothers, and they had a book, and they'd already filled it out in pencil, and I just rub it out and rewrite it. So I never learnt it. That was quite funny. When I wished for a coffee, you appeared. I'm new to this channel. Can you make me a coffee? Sure, come on in. I'll make you one right now. Welcome to our channel. If you're not familiar with our channel, it's probably a really good thing to cover quickly. We're a coffee company based in Australia, and we just love sharing our ideas around coffee, inspiring people around the world to make great coffee. The content on our YouTube channels covers everything from how to open a cafe, start a cafe, lay out a cafe, how to make espresso, milk, or really understand the fundamentals of making coffee. And then we do a lot of reviews as well for the home market. So just all things coffee is what we're covering. So if you're new, check it out. It's definitely good to see what we do. We're live, open, honest. What you see here is what we're all about. So if you've got a question, please ask them. Happy to answer them for you. What's the most popular coffee request there? It's still probably the cappuccino, isn't it? Are we still cappuccino? Cappuccino latte? Yeah, cappuccino lattes. We don't have massive sizes like the States. We have 3 sizes usually, so the 12 ounce is probably the more ideal one, but we have what's called a tradie coffee, which is the 12 ounce there, 16 ounce. And we call it a tradie coffee because usually they come in and they want extra strong and maybe 2 sugars. The tradies aren't always as sweet as we think. So that's our tradie coffee.
DRD Mac said, howdy from the UK. Who is your go-to YouTube coffee guru apart from yourself?
Apart from myself? Yeah, that's cool. Initially over the years we did a bit of study, just what everyone else was doing. Probably Hoffman's definitely number one. He's fantastic, real credit to him. His current series looking pretty good. I don't really sit there and watch a lot of YouTube, in all honesty. We just try and do our own thing. Sometimes we might reference a video just to get a little bit of extra data or understand someone else's perspective on it. So he's probably really good in that sciencey side. We love that. Then for reviews, like Seattle Coffee Gear, I might just see something that they've done just to get an idea, because we're behind the market. A lot of the products that get released here in Australia is probably 6 months behind what happens overseas. So it's good just to get that information from those guys. And then Lance would be the other one. Lance is pretty technical. He's doing some pretty cool stuff, grinder burrs and some geeky stuff. We've met Lance a couple of times. Cool bloke. So
another question for you. Thoughts on seasoning burrs on a new flat burr grinder?
Cool. Timmy Lewis, welcome. I'll come back to you.
Repeat that question.
Yep. So the question was, what are my thoughts on seasoning a flat burr grinder? Is that correct?
Yeah, seasoning the burrs on a flat burr.
Seasoning the flat burrs. Yes. Definitely need to do it. We have the Anthem SB2s here, which do about 2.5 tonne of coffee. They're a titanium coated big burr set. 85 mil, I think. And we actually put about 6 to 7 kilos of coffee through those before we put them in the cafe. If you don't, you'll just get a huge variation in your grind straight away. There is something that needs to happen there, whether it's, a tempering of heat or consistency that comes through on those burrs, or just taking the sharp edge off them and getting them all the same. I'm not sure, but if we put them straight into a cafe and we start using them, the grind does vary a lot. And so we find ourselves chasing the grind and the flavour a fair bit in the first 10 or so kilos. So we learnt that by doing that, unfortunately, just pumping grind through. I did a video on that on YouTube around it, on seasoning the Anthem SP2, what we do. So you check that out. So definitely would do it. What's up, Timmy Lewis? Woo! Good to have you back, mate. Wednesday is your slot. You've probably got back on the couch again. And hopefully we can entertain you, mate, for the next hour or so. So good to have you back, mate. And thanks there for a little bit of little love, mate. Appreciate it. G'day from Spain. Thanks for all the amazing content. I'm setting up a shop, and even though I've been in the industry for 5 years, your content is spot on. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate it. We do love to share it, and we're finding more and more people are requesting us to give a bit more detail around the world on coffee and layouts, things like that. So to definitely use that content seems to be very, very relevant no matter where we get those inquiries from. G'day from Norway.
Had a question. Was it in a 12-ounce cup, how much milk for latte versus a cappuccino? You have to repeat these because
Mike's not. Oh, she's dead, is she? Oh, you're right. Okay, in a 12-ounce latte, what is the difference between the milk of flat white and latte, was it? So 12 ounce latte versus cappuccino. Yeah, okay. Long black on champ and a latte on oat. Uno momento, por favor. I do know a little bit of language, just the silly stuff. Okay.
Tim Lewis said you nailed it. He's on the couch.
I'm on the couch. He's on the couch. Timmy Lewis is on the couch. Awesome. Huh?
It's very loud.
Too organised. You're too organised. Here we go. So I've got a note latte here. I'm going to come back to that question in a second. So we it's all starting with the lesser amount of milk. Wait, hang on, lost my mic. Wait, hey, going wild. Gee. Yeah, that was wild. Hang on, losing mics. Stay on there. There we go. Lost train of thought. Where was I? We were talking about the amount of foam in different lattes versus cappuccinos. So essentially, you do want to have more foam in a cappuccino. The realistic thing in the takeaways here in Australia is most people just keep pouring lattes and put chocolate on top. But ideally, you do want to have more foam in there. The easiest thing to do is whenever you're having a latte over a cappuccino is start with less milk. And if you pour and don't fill that cup all the way up, then you don't have enough foam for a cappuccino. If you put a little bit more milk in there, you're basically going to have a latte. So we've got a video around the volumes of milk that you definitely want to go back and have a look at. So train yourself not to just start with the same amount of milk and then froth more or less, and then maybe have a little left over. You actually want to start training your brain to start with a lower amount of milk for cappuccino, medium or a little bit higher for a flat white, for a latte, and a little bit higher for a flat white, so that when you finish, you're finishing with an empty jug every single time. And that's how you would know to have the difference between more or less foam in your cappuccino or a latte in a 12-ounce coffee.
Tell me about cold brew. Is that a thing in the future? From Keith Myers.
The future's here. Cold brew is great.
It's in the fridge.
It's in the fridge. Sure. So every day, we're going out of the cold brew season here because of coming into winter. But we've got to remember that. The overseas audience is really opposite to us. So completely opposite. So we do a couple of cold brews. Oops, sorry, my apologies. Yep. There is actually one going behind here. Just for a small little option, we grabbed this little brewer here. They're about 110 bucks. These are great. So you can brew a couple of these. They come in a range of colors, in this charcoal or blue. But essentially, you've got your coffee in the middle there, water and ice in the top. Probably about, what is that? Oh, I can't remember the measurement. I haven't made one for a while. Does it have a marker on there? Oh, you got the recipe card there? 500. 500? Inside, there's this little piece here, which allows you to increase or decrease your flow. But every single time you buy something from us, we give you this little card with a full recipe there. So that's the brewer. We've got 50 grams of coffee, 100 grams of ice cubes, and 600 grams of filtered water. And you want to get a 60 drip per minute, and that's going to give you a great brew. So that's the recipe. They come with every single one. These are on our website, aren't they? People can catch them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually on that product page.
It's on the product page, and then you got a little QR code to a video. Would it be, or is that the product? Either way.
Video.
Video.
Done a video on it. Yeah.
There you go.
That's what it looks like on the.
There you go. Been selling these for ages. They're really good. They're handy. Replacement parts, pretty simple and easy. The other one we do is just your puck attachment to your AeroPress. So they're pretty cool too. Basically, you've got this top section that you can take off. You can buy it with the blue bit and the top hopper, or you can just buy this little puck, and that'll fit just a standard PET water bottle that you might buy from somewhere. So there's a little plastic piece which is missing from here, which actually sits on your coffee bed. If you lose it, you can just put a paper filter on top of your coffee bed. It's important to have some sort of dispersing item on top of your coffee bed, otherwise you'll just drill a hole straight through your coffee. So that helps the water to go evenly across the top of the bed and brew. Lower acidity, lower body, smoother flavours. Yeah, it's big. It's great. Leftovers. Make them into ice cubes and then put them back later in another cold brew. So let's say you got a Colombian today, you can have Colombian ice cubes in a Guatemalan tomorrow.
Gurav Patel said, I'm visiting Sydney in July. Are you guys around there?
We are about 5.5 hours drive north of Sydney. In July, we won't be in Sydney.
You won't be there.
No, we're going to be in Sydney
But our
in
roaster
September.
is 5.5 hours north.
5.5 hours north, yes. If you're driving to Brisbane, you will pass us. We are 2 minutes off the highway. If you get to Coffs Harbour and you've hit roadworks, take your next right. We're just there. We're not far from there at all.
Which coffee doesn't have a drowsy after effect?
What? None of them. I mean, all of them. All. Coffee literally just, the caffeine blocks your sleep receptors. So I've been working on this a lot myself, and let's go a little bit personal here. Been relying on coffee for many years, but now I'm getting up in the morning, having a shower, finishing with a cold shower, and I actually don't have my first coffee till a little bit later. Normally about 8 o'clock now, which is a couple of hours. So they say if you can wait an hour and a half after waking up before you have your first coffee, what's it called? Anyway, there's a receptor in your brain. I can't remember this one. You block it with caffeine. So if you wake up, your body hasn't actually dealt with that yet, and let's say you have a coffee within 5 minutes, all it does is store up your tiredness up to that coffee, and when the coffee dissipates out of your body, you get that crash. So I've managed to alleviate the afternoon crash that I was having by waiting that little bit, dealing with your sleep, protein, I'm going to say adrenatone or something like that. Anyway, once you deal with that.
Adrenal gland.
Yeah, there's something there. Anyway,
Another
so
question
that's what's happening to your body.
Morning, what does milk blended coffee roast mean?
Milk blended coffee roast. Milk
Roasted
blended.
to soup, like a
Roasted to soup milk broth, yeah. Yeah. So when we roast coffee, we have multiple. When we roast for our blend, which is what we have our champion blend there, different beans from around the world have different flavours and also different characteristics. So if we're going to look for a coffee that's got more punch or more body into it when it's cut with milk, we want to make sure that we've got maybe a little bit more bitterness, a bit more body, and balancing those out. So we'll have 4 different beans doing different things. One aiming on sweetness, one aiming on body, one maybe for taste. And so that's what we do basically. The darker the roast, the more intense the flavour is going to be, or more body that will come through with milk. The lighter that is, the less body you're going to get. So there's a really big trend over the last few years here to have, I'd say it's come out of Melbourne, light roast coffee with milk. With a natural processed coffee or a honey or something, and it's pretty funky. Doesn't taste that great with milk, personally. We don't generally do that. We have more smoother, milk chocolates and a little bit of spice coming through in our coffee. So, yeah, that's basically what we're trying to do. Just something that tastes like coffee when you add a whole heap of milk to it. Alrighty. Let's see. These ones are really high and long to pour through.
So I wanted to know, how much does it cost for a regular coffee?
$4.50, $5.50. This is $6.50. Thanks, Brad. Cheers, mate. Have a great day. So that's where we're at the moment. There's a lot of talk around the cup of coffee having to go up at the moment to be $7 for a small cup. Oh, gee, that'd be great. Everyone gets a pay rise if we can get a small cup at $7. How's that sound? Let's do it. Let's fix inflation by charging $7 a cup of coffee. Historically, coffee was very expensive. It was only for the really wealthy people. In equivalent times, if we do the maths, it's something along the lines of $100 and something a cup if we look back in history. So it's cheap. It is so cheap, coffee at the moment, especially the amount of labour that goes into coffee from the farm side, the importing around the world, then roasting it, then distributing it to a cafe, then actually making it here as well. And the profit margin's definitely been squeezed. So Years ago, they used to say it used to cost 5 or 7 cents a cup of coffee. It's nowhere near that anymore. If someone's saying to that, they need to wake up and have another cup of coffee. Lewis, is that how you spell your name?
I don't know, how'd she spell it?
Luise.
No. L-E-W-I-S.
Lewis. There you go. I just thought I'd been missing something for so long.
I'd put that in my email signature as well.
Yep.
L-U-I-S.
Got g'day from Spain. Thank you for all the amazing content. I'm setting up a shop, and even though I've been in the industry for 5 years, your content is spot on.
Cheers, mate.
That's from Ron Reese. Greetings from Norway. How do you like Ethiopian coffee?
Love Ethiopian coffee. Absolutely love it. Ethiopian coffee is pretty much the birthplace of coffee. We use Ethiopian Yogachef in most of our blends, actually. Yeah, in Champion and Fix. We usually have Yogachef last year, just with the craziness around the world, we had to go to a Sidamo product, but now we're back on Yogachef. We definitely use it for single origin coffees. Interesting fact, last night chatting with a lovely gentleman by the J, called Jay, don't know if you hear Jay, anyway. Jay is in Ethiopia. He's got some connections over there and helping roast coffee and support a lot of locals there. He was telling me about exporting Ethiopian coffee, and grades 1, 2 and 3 have to be exported out of the country. So we get all the good stuff and they get left with the lower end grades. So that was pretty interesting. So yeah, Ethiopian coffee in Ethiopia isn't as good as the products that we end up with. Lovely chatting to you, by the way, Jay.
Someone's got interested to know the steam pressure you use on your machine. My new ECM Synchronica goes up to 2 bar, but I've reduced it to about 1.7 bar and is much more manageable with a 4-hole tip.
Yeah, 2, wow, don't go to 2 bar, too high, way too high. So every boiler has a capacity level, and let's say it's about 3 bar, maybe. Oh, actually, from a manufacturer's perspective, it probably will be about 4 bar of pressure it can handle. There's a safety valve in there. They used to have them at 1.5 bar historically, about 10 years ago, in all the home machines. They've now got better engineering, better welding, and now we're up to probably running at max 2 bar. The safety valve will actually go off at 2.5 bar. So if you're going to go over that, you're really causing massive amounts of steam to come out of the top of your machine. Normally we run machines, used to be in the older boiler, smaller machines. So if you've got an older one, it'd be around 0.9 was the recommended for the steam boiler that has an overpressure valve of 1.5. The newer machines like ECM, Synchronica and things, you can go up to about 1.5. You don't want to go much more than that. It will be a lot more steam. It's going to come out very fast and then start to reduce. If you've got a PID controller to change that, you're probably sitting around 125 degrees maximum, and that's going to give you about 1.7 bar. But ideally 122 on your PID controller is where you want to sit, which will be around 1.2.
Please tell me if specialty coffee needs an espresso machine or a pour over brew. Which one is the better method?
Specialty coffee covers, I guess, a whole range of topics. I'd say specialty coffee is based around the beans that are used. So if you've got a specialty espresso product, you'd be needing an espresso machine. So if you're going to offer a specialty long black, or you're going to offer, Alex, when he's ready. Yeah, if you're going to have that specialty espresso product, which is what we offer, you need the machine. If you're going to offer pour overs and Chemexes and all of those other batch brews and things like that, that's where it's still specialty coffee. It's just another offering or type that you're going to have. So, yeah, have a mix of both. Really, if you're going to do it, you definitely want to have them all. The volume is definitely around the espresso machine for sure.
What's the new espresso ratio?
In a longo. Well, lungo is just a longer espresso. It doesn't have milk. A lungo is just a 3-to-1 ratio of espresso to water. It doesn't have any milk. Sorry. You lost me there. Just tell me to hurry up too if I need to. Lee. Cheers, mate.
Thanks a lot.
Have a cracking day.
Everyone, been reading into water and how much it impacts your cup. What's your setup at the cafe?
No, it is right. Sorry, I was thinking about milk. What was that question?
So, been reading into water and how much it impacts your cup. What's your setup at the cafe?
Yes, it affects 100%. Water is the biggest part of coffee. You have to make sure you've got great filtration. You need to understand the actual supply of water that you have. So if you can get a hold of your local council and get a report around that water, you can then look to target the issues in that water that you don't want to come into cup. You want to have some sort of filtration. We have, I think we've got 4 or 5 filters in our building, covering lots of different things. So that will be covering sort of sediments, limes, calciums, metals, and we want to get all those out. But water science is it's the biggest topic when you really get into it. There's a lot of ideas where you can reverse osmosis, so you can take your chlorines out of your water and then you can add back certain things. So with some sort of third wave water or lotus water sort of satchels. I did do a video on that one with the Rocket R91 out of my house because my water is rainwater. It basically has very low TDS or minerals in that water, and then we added some of the third wave water back in. So check out that video, you'll learn heaps just from that one little video. Thanks, Dom.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate, have a great day.
Yeah.
If you just joined us, just live here on YouTube, hey, make sure you whack down a comment. Ryan's behind there, he'll read them out and we'll talk to you about them. Yeah, just happy hanging out here talking coffee for a little bit. Thanks very much. If you're new to watching us, really appreciate it. Go and check out our YouTube channel. We've got a lot of content there for all different baristas, starting from how to maybe froth milk or pour good espresso, all the way through to starting your own cafe and machine reviews as well. So, hey, just a little shout out. If you're really bored and not doing anything, we'll put a new video up. Just hit play. Just let it play. That's fine. That'd be great. Give us a view. I know you might love some part of our channel, but if you can just play those other videos, it would really help us. And make sure you do subscribe. It does help us get our content out there further. You know, do have some goals there to get a bit higher. And yeah, just hit play. Don't have to listen.
Have you ever tried using raw milk?
Oh yeah, raw milk. No. No, they sell it, they call it bath milk here. It's unpasteurised, unpasteurised, heat treated, unhomogenised, yeah. It's not smashing all the particles together. You tried raw milk?
Prelude of me said, love your guys' stuff. Starting my first shop and your videos have taught me so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
It's great, appreciate it. Good morning. Can you talk milk? We have a choice of getting a gallon of whole milk for $3 US from our local grocery, but there's a farm nearby that sells their organic grass-fed direct for $6.50 US per gallon.
Yep. Twice the price of milk. Yep.
Is the extra quality worth selling a cup for more? Do you find customers accept the higher price for the high quality?
Okay. So is it worth paying for good milk? That's probably, well, okay, we'll come back to that little comment there. Is it worth paying for good milk? I need to move that. Sorry, I feel like I'm bending into that too much. Yes, pay for good milk, but you've got to do a test. You need to get your espressos, lay them out, and try the different milks and see how it reacts with your coffee. Because if you've got a high acidity coffee or a high body coffee, and you've got a very cheaper, low quality milk, which is basically thinner, it's going to emphasize the bitterness of that actual coffee. If you've got a full fat style, you know, high quality, high proteins and high sugars milk, and that's going to add on top of that same espresso, you might end up with this beautiful caramel chocolate kind of cup. So do a tasting. You have to match your milk with your espresso. Then you can say to people, our coffee's better. don't just think it's about price. People will pay for a quality cup of coffee. So make sure that you do that, that's for sure. We use a local Norco product. It's farmer owned, a cooperative, I don't know, 100 and something odd farmers. It's a great little product. It's all grass-fed, pasture raised cows, I think, until you get to a point where we're in a drought, and then they have to feed them some other products. So we generally see very low issues throughout the whole year. So if you're going from drought to floods, that's where you start to see a big change in milk.
Tim Lewis said, let West Virginia, US buy one. So you just donated another US $10, so he wants to buy some of the coffee.
You want to buy some of the coffee? Okay. That threw us all out. Thanks, Timmy. The next coffee's free. From Tim Lewis in West Virginia.
The next order.
Yep.
The next order's free. Should be cool. Your tour of the Lamazocco facilities in vicinity of Scuderia Ferrari was a treat to watch. Really, thanks for that.
That's all right. That was really good fun. It was a long video, longest form video we've had to edit and do. So yeah, no, we really appreciate that. We'll, I keep saying we'll be back.
Interesting tour going around for anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah. So we basically did. We were travelling. We went over to Milan for Host Milan. We did the trade show. We want to go back to that because we really underdid the actual trade show. We didn't realise how. We knew it was going to be big. We only had 3 days there because the last day, Lamazocco took a contingent of lots of different people over to Florence, which was wonderful, wonderful journey. Thank you very much, Lamazocco. We feel really blessed to be part of all of that. And they allowed us to shoot openly on every piece of content. So we got the Academia Cafe, which is where they do all their training, which was the historical place of where they were making machines. They put on, there's a wonderful expo there around migrants in coffee, so that they're telling the Brazil story of how they all came over to Italy. And then they had a bit of a party, and it was a fantastic event there. Then the next day we went over to the actual factory and toured where they make all the machines and have a look at it. It's a great video if you're interested in where things come from. They're very technical based. Looks like they look after their staff. Everyone seems to be really happy. Very family orientated feel and business. Enjoy it. It's a great video. I don't know what we're going to do next time when we go there. I mean, we can't really do those same sort of videos, but we might be able to ask some heavier hitting questions, interview a few people.
You want to say thanks to Ashish Sood as
Yes.
well for that. For that donation.
Thanks, Ashish Sood, for the 179. Not sure what that in money currency is, but yeah.
Thanks anyway.
But thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
What is a good technique for beginners when steaming milk?
Yep.
Repeat that question.
What is the best technique when learning how to steam milk? The best technique is actually to practice not with milk, practice with water, and get yourself the ability to just some cold water. Once it gets hot, tip it out and start again, and just start it all the way up, like almost hit that tip to the bottom. Turn on your steamer and just start to see what happens. Because it's cold water, it's not going to hurt if it comes out of the jug. You then need to just start to lower to the point where that liquid is spinning, and then spinning with no hiss. So you do not want the tip of your steam tip to touch the surface of the water. So once you can work out what works well on your machine in terms of a position, then you want to learn to lower that jug just to get a hiss, and then lift it up to get no hiss. And once you've worked out that technique with water, go and practice it with milk. Milk is obviously colder. It's going to start out of the fridge at about 4 degrees, where water will start at about 20 degrees. So you'll have a lot more time to play with that moment of hiss. The more hiss, the more foam you're going to get. And you only want to do that process or get the hiss for up to the temperature of 40 degrees. So if you've got yourself a thermometer, which I don't have one here, I'm sorry, to show you, but 40 degrees below is where you want to get your hissing, which is generating your foam. And from 40 up to 65 degrees, you need to keep a vortex going and fold that foam from the top back down through the liquid, and that's where it'll get nice and silky smooth.
I got another question. Really simple one, but what's both your favourite coffee and why? I'm a flat white. I think it's the perfect balance of milk and coffee, in my opinion.
Okay, so
what's your favourite coffee?
What's my favourite coffee? My favourite coffee is a long black. I'm a black coffee drinker. I used to drink a lot of lattes, but I used to drink either ristretto and a short amount of milk. So typically old flat white was a smaller style cup, double ristretto or a stronger amount of coffee, and then the small flat white milk in it, so not getting too large. That's really what it was. Now it's just become a milk coffee without any foam on it.
I think they wanted to know Paya's favourite coffee.
Paya's favourite
Because they
coffee,
said both
black.
of yours.
Yep.
Piccolo. We had a piccolo on single origin this morning.
Pickle, and now I have a batch.
Batchy. What do you taste when you taste that batchy? What do you taste? Tell us your thoughts.
Stay close to
Yep.
Like a tropical fruit.
What tropical fruit? Papaya?
Papaya, yeah.
Of course.
What else?
Yeah.
It's sweet.
It's sweet. A little bit juicy. It's very clean. There's no sort of heavy flavour coming through there. Dissipates off your mouth really cleanly. It's a little bit hot. I just burnt my mouth a little.
Is it?
Mine was. I got a very cool tongue. Doesn't like hot.
So I've got a question
Mm.
here.
A little bit of
Please
toffee.
Please
Just a little bit.
advise me which is the best flare espresso machine amongst the various models, especially when it comes to specialty roasted beans.
You've got to get a heating element flare. Don't buy one that doesn't have the heating element. I've used the flare a fair bit. I had the original heating element one. There's the flare LE. Actually, we've got a lot of them flare. To be honest, they're on sale on our website. Jump on, got some stock. Happy to buy it. Part of our financial year sale. So there is lots of stuff going on across the whole business. So I can ship all the way over Australia, and we'll put some great deals together for you. But yeah, the flare that doesn't have the heating element, it's just a lot fiddly to maintain heat. And thermal stability is the biggest thing we talk about when we're brewing any type of coffee. So coffee machine, or this size or smaller ones, thermal stability of the water that goes in is what it's all about. Because the flare, if you don't have the heating element, you have to basically preheat it, put a silicone rubber underneath and on the top and kind of get it all hot, take it apart, put it back together, pour in your water, and away you go. It's a little bit tricky and fiddly. It's far cheaper, there's no doubt about it. In Australia, you can get those flares for about $600, where the heating elements options hit around $1,000. Far worth it, and very low power draw on those as well.
Prelude of me who asked the milk question
Yes.
just gave us US $5, and they said if you guys ever come, if you guys ever tour other countries to try their coffee shops, come to Texas and I'll make you a cup of coffee.
Okay, we will. I'm sure we're going to do a world tour.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for the $5. We really appreciate it. We'd love to do those kinds of things. We'd love to travel and document some things. Time and money are the two things. We just need to get to the point where we can be a business. Good morning, Marcus. How you going?
Good.
That's good. Yeah, I guess for us the goal is to grow big enough that we've got a massive, amazing team here to keep the show going all the time, and then we can travel the world, learn more about coffee, and give that back to everybody.
I've got a question here from Benicio, I think it is. Planning on opening a coffee shop this year. I'm torn on what espresso machine I should get. Is Lamazocco always the safest bet?
It's a very safe bet, as long as there's someone there to service it. That's probably the best thing. You're a cafe. Your business revolves around a piece of equipment. If you cannot get that piece of equipment serviced, don't buy a Lamazocco. But if there is a local a coffee tech or supplier or brand that's really good in the area, I would probably advise to go with that brand so you can get that support if something goes wrong. If there's someone supplying Lamazoccos and is willing to support you, then I would go down that path of one of those for sure. Just running through this little coffee here. We've got a flat white cool in a keep cup.
In your experience, how long should I wait for my E61 group head to fully heat up on my brew boiler? I have it on a timer and wait for at least 25 minutes before the first shot.
Yeah, that's a good amount of time. A lot of the new models now have what's called heat up, a fast heat up, and they reckon it's about 7 minutes. 15 minutes is what historically everyone was talking about for the thermosiphon to actually happen. which is what an E61 group does. You've basically got a hose that's going down through a boiler and coming back up to the head, and naturally the water will flow all the way around. So 15 minutes is what they said. If you can get the outer surface of your E61 to feel hot, and then you start to run some water through it, I think you're fine to use it. So what's going to happen though, as soon as you start to use it, you'll get a bigger thermal loss straight away. So make sure your handle's hot, make sure you've got a little bit of water running before you do you got your lid, there we go. Yeah, did I answer all that? I think so. 15 minutes.
Okay. I've heard bad things about the E80 grinder and how hard it is to keep clean. What grinders do you recommend?
Oof. I'm just going to put it out there and say all the new grinders that have amazing weight-based technology, anti-clumping, bigger burst sets, all of them are beautiful grinders, but they need high maintenance. They need to be cleaned. They're not for the average person. So if you can provide good maintenance, clean any of them out, you will have a great product every single time. If you're not willing to put the time and effort into it, look at another grinder. That's the thing. So technology is amazing if we look after it. The grinders we use the SP2s pluses from Anthem. They've got a big burr. They've got a good clumping, anti-clumping device in the front of them. Something goes wrong, anyone can service them. They're very easy, and that's why we do like them. So practicality and durability over some of the finer issues that some of the higher end grinders have can cause problems in the industry. So we're about to roll out through the new Anthem range, the Alba and the Luna and Alba, I think it is. Rather than heading down weight-based options for all of our cafe partners at the moment. The weight base is just still not quite there to be durable, easy to clean and work with as well.
Do you ship Flare Espresso machines to India?
No, I'm sorry, we don't. No, you'd have to buy from a reseller. We can't ship electrical appliances around the world. There's laws and issues there for us not to do it. Do you have 4 today?
Yes.
Brilliant. Capsicum hot.
I'll let you concentrate there for a minute.
Sure. I think I need another coffee. My eyes aren't opening today. I'm a bit tongue-tied. I did, and I had Oh yeah, I didn't finish my shower cold this morning. This is my issue. I've been swearing by it, and I'm just yeah, my eyes are tired.
What sort of skill do baristas need to show before steaming milk for customers?
Consistently being able to get silky milk and the right volume of milk, because it's not all about just getting a glossy texture on the top. You need to have the right amount of foam for a cappuccino, flat white or latte. A lot of people just serve either flat whites or lattes and keep it all the same. So getting that consistency is definitely a key. If you're having a coffee shop and you're kind of new to this game and you're going to have a new staff member, don't put the new person on your milk side, put them on the espresso side or the till. Get them used to the temperatures that your customers want, because people can taste the difference, there's no doubt about it. So being able to be accurate in this side on temperature. These are all hot that I'm making right now. So they do get a bit foamier, and you can't pour as good a patterns with them. But if I didn't know that this customer wanted it really, really hot, and I jumped on and just did a normal temperature, you would upset your customers very quickly. So be wary who you put on this side of your machine. Skim. Joe. Lindsay?
To know where we run our business.
Where we run our business. We are based in Coffs Harbour, New South Wales, Australia. We are located, thanks, cheers, have a good one,
You too.
halfway between Sydney and Brisbane on the main highway, coastal side. So we've got beautiful beaches and we support cafes wholesale-wise up and down the east coast of Australia. And we ship things like machines, coffee all over Australia and accessories to the home users.
Question, Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to get an iMilk for my shop in the US?
I don't know. You'd have to contact the iMilk team through the iMilk website and get that answer. I'm not involved in iMilk anymore, so yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know what they're planning on doing. A few direction changes and things, so it could be a possibility. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, cool. If you just joined us here, we're live in the Artisti Espresso bar. Got a few crew that are a little bit sick, so Paya and I just pumping out a few coffees. If you've got any questions, please pop them down below. Ryan's behind the camera, he'll read them out and we'll answer them for you. And we're just yeah, sharing our knowledge. We've covered a lot of different stuff today. It's pretty good when you do give us these random questions. Keeps me on my toes. And we can answer them for you. Thanks, Joe. Have a great day. Did you give away the next free coffee?
Yeah, I did already.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Michael.
Holly just said, I'm a Starbucks barista and this is making me long for the experience of crafting. Thank you so much, Holly.
Great. I'm so glad, so glad we could inspire you. There's so many places in the US that are going away from the Starbucks and all the bigger coffee chains. So if you really want to be in it, there's great opportunity in the industry. You can learn how to make better coffee. You could move into equipment maintenance or roasting coffee or supporting cafes with specialty coffee. It will happen. It will change in the States. So yeah, if it's a career that you want to get into, definitely pursue it. Thanks, Tony.
Cheers, bud.
Have a great day.
Got 3 shots on the go, okay?
Okay, ready to go?
Yep, thank you.
Cool. Just getting a little bit busier right now, everyone, so bear with us while we make coffee. Flat white and flat water, yep. And a cap. Stir your sugars in. The whole top of your espresso is going to be nice and sweet. Dan here yet? Nope. Ross? Beautiful. Cappuccino, Ross. Put amount of chocky for you there. Have an awesome day.
You too.
There you go.
Question there, Luke.
Yeah.
Thoughts on San Remo cafe races and and Astoria Tempesta.
Story Tempesta, it's not really big here in Australia, so I'm not really sure on that one. As far as the San Remo racer, yeah, we're actually heading to Sydney next Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're doing training on all the San Remo gear. So we will, from a tech perspective, we use the Zoes at the moment for our entry-level customers, essentially, that don't want to spend $20,000 on a Lamazocco. So we're just trying to BAZ, Baz. And yeah, we'll have more information about them, how to service them, how to work on them. They seem to be nice-looking machines. There's some cool tech in them where we can back flush restrictors, because restrictors in group heads is where you tend to have some issues. The ability for temperature control on different heads. Customization, which is pretty cool in the San Remo range. So they're definitely hitting the market in unique industrial looking machines. So yeah, they're definitely making an impact here in Australia for sure. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Have a great day. We do about 4 kilos a day, so 20 odd. Yep. Just this peak part in the morning, really. The rest of it's more retail and sales in the afternoons, and beans and machines.
Liam wanted to know if we have any places in Canberra. He said he's 17, looking for a full-time job, turning 18 in 7 weeks.
Canberra. No. Wagga Wagga.
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 Probably
Wagga Wagga's the closest, but that's still. We're W-A-G-G-A. We say Wagga, but it's Wagga. Wagga. Shout out to Jesse. Jimmy's just down at Wagga Wagga. Opened up a brand new little cafe under a hotel and is absolutely smashing it. Jesse used to work for us many years ago. That's where Jimmy is. You'll see him on the reels. What a champion he is, mate. If you're in that area, go and see him. Get an awesome brew.
Someone said, I'm from the US. Did you just put powdered chocolate on what drink?
Powdered chocolate on what drink? On a cappuccino?
Yeah.
Yes. There's no. Oh, Craig?
Yeah.
Cheers, Craig. Flat white. Oh, two
Yeah,
for
they
you, is
do
it, Craig?
yeah.
Flat white and a
Yeah.
mocha?
Good little.
Yep.
Yep.
Am I good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Great, sorry. You know, you don't want to steal somebody else's coffee at a coffee bar. It's always funny.
Coffee has less tremor.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. It's just different, harder to grind, and it won't expand as much. You tend to have to grind fine, have a bigger dose to be able to get that pressure build up in it. But oils and things will change as well. So yeah, it's a general way. The creme is different. The volume of it's definitely different because you've got a lot more gas when you're making crema when it's the right age and fresher. Thanks, Lee. You too. Oh, little black bit. I don't know.
Like that?
The sipper top?
It wasn't.
No, maybe.
Lemon was bit on the top. So
No, might have. Okay.
so
If we find it, we'll hold it for you. Okay. Thanks.
You had Nora wanted to know what drink I can make in summer.
What drink you been cooking? Cold brew, definitely the way to go. Yeah, go back and rewatch this. We talk about cold brew. We show the brewer and the puck. Yeah, it's basically a steep. You can do it with lots of different devices. You know, when I was travelling, I didn't have a cold brewer. It was really rustic, but I just got a PET bottle and got some coffee grounds and jammed it all together and gave it a shake up and let it sit for a day in the cold fridge. So anything where you've got an amount of time to steep coffee and water together is the key. You generally have them together for about 24 hours. If you start to increase your ratio of coffee to water, you can decrease the time. If you decrease the amount of coffee, you increase the time. And you can get either stronger, bolder, or lighter, fruitier flavours in those things. So, yeah. watch a bit earlier as well, we talk about ice cubes and some cool stuff.
Have you heard of Julius?
Daz? Thanks, Daz. Oh. No, it's Baz. That's Baz from next door. Sorry, Baz. Yep. Ash's next one, yep.
Have you heard of Julius Minor?
Never heard of Julius Miles. What was it? Lavazza?
Lavazza.
Oh, Lavazza's an Italian roasted product. Yeah, one of the big brands. They're historically, one of the, I guess, the founders of the whole coffee world. Lavazza, I believe, is linked with their own sort of coffee machine, and yeah, they're definitely Italian roast and a big brand for sure. I wouldn't put them in the specialty coffee area at all. They're not as big here in Australia for specialty coffee, that's for sure. But you'd find them at maybe some hotel chains and airports, things like that.
When will you guys be able to ship to the US? I'm looking for the Anthem Cradle.
Yes. One of the issues yes, that's a big question. Thank you, Ash. Have a good one. We have shipped a few of those Anthem Cradles around the world. What we found, I think the US is okay. So if you pop me an email, send through to info@artisti.com.au with your address. The biggest problem we have is the actual shipping addresses going into our systems. If it doesn't recognise that we can't ship it, it becomes a bit of a funny problem. For the Anthem Cradle though, I can send you an invoice. You pay it through our Shopify store. If it all goes through and it recognises it, that's fine. We'll ship it to you. Just not coffee yet. But we need your address to be able to give you a quote on the shipping.
Someone wants to know about from Romania.
Yes?
What rate of profitability do you have for a cup of coffee on average? Thank you.
Okay, probably not profitability is not the word. It'd be markup. Jimmy's he wants to do this whole video, doesn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So markup is the amount of your cost of goods up to your retail price. So that is the word you'd look at rather than profitability. And that will give you a template to apply to all products in a cafe. So a markup is higher than a profit percent or gross profit when you're doing the maths there. Garth, thanks, man. So a lot of people get that confused. Markup, like 10% profit might be say 25% markup, and jump on to Google, do a little bit of a search, and just get a profit or a margin calculator, and you'll see the differences between what I'm talking about there. So you'd probably want to look between 200 to 300% markup on a product that you manufacture and make. So if you can cost out your cup, your lid, your milk, your coffee, your sugar, have all of those there, and then you do a markup to an amount that you're going to try and sell it at, then you do some research around your local area and find out what people pay for a cup of coffee. And if you're going to do a better product or a higher quality or a specialty coffee, you'd add a premium on top of that based on what you can offer people and price it from there. If you just joined us, welcome YouTube Live. Just in the Espresso bar here with the lovely Paya, answering some of your questions. We've already covered things like cold brew and lots of different stuff. Machines, everything. Go back and have a look. It's really great. Thanks for the questions.
What's the trick to make a leaf in the coffee?
Leaf. La Rosetta, yeah. The trick to it is beautiful silky milk and creating a nice base to start with. Relaxing, slowing down, pouring really wide left and right to get those the wings to come out, and then when you get that wings sort of happening, actually go forward, move forward in the cup, and it'll push it a little bit more, and then you'll be able to get your base start to wiggle, and then slow back. And when you're coming halfway back, breathe, just take a breath. I always say to everyone, when it gets really tense and holds their breath, so just take a breath, come back, and if you want to put a heart on the top, stop, go low, you'll get that round circle forming, and then you can lift up and pull through the whole lot nicely. Pull through pretty quick. If you pull slow, it'll just suck and become a V shape.
Teodoro said, "Morning mates from Argentina, you are the best."
Thank you, appreciate it.
What else?
Is your job easy or hard? I love my job, love what I do. If you love what you do, it's not hard. That's the reality. So get out of bed and enjoy it.
Do you steam the milk a little for iced drinks or just pour from the package?
Package. You can't heat up milk for iced drinks.
You might need to repeat some of that.
Do you pour hot milk into any iced cold product?
No, do you steam the milk?
Do I steam the milk to add it into a cold beverage?
Yeah.
No, not at all. Just straight iced milk, iced cold milk into the iced beverage.
Liam wanted to know, is there a way to make cold brew without any machinery, basically?
Yes. Can you make cold brew without a machine? Yes. I did talk about that a couple minutes ago. I just literally got a mineral water bottle, big one like this, pouring some coffee grinds, pouring some cold water, give it a great good shake, and leave it in your fridge for 24 hours. And then when you pour it out, don't get the sludge, and you'll get some cold brew. That's the easiest. There's a cold steep, but give that a go.
Bal said, do you sell crushed iced coffee drinks or with ice cream?
No, we have one not crushed ice at all.
We have ice cream.
We do ice cream, so we do an iced latte, which
They do have ice in it, but
yeah, not crushed. Just a big couple of ice cubes, a scoop of ice cream, some milk, and that's about it. We don't have cream on top or any of those things. We don't go that delicate.
Liam, that young fella from Canberra,
Oh, yep.
he said, what did he say? Hang on, I lost him. He said, I subscribed and liked. I'm glad I ran into your channel.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Liam. Hey, around that area, if you're in Canberra, if you really want to get into the coffee scene, Owner Coffee would be the guys to find. Like, they are the leaders in the specialty coffee world. I wouldn't say just in Australia, but Sasha Sestic was a World Barista champion. He's got some amazing people there. Matt Lewin has an amazing coffee school down that way somewhere. Shout out to Matt, you're a champion, mate. Love your work. He's Australian Barista champion historically. So go and see him. Tell him where you want to go. You know, the industry is always looking for passionate people. Yeah, go and do his course. Spend the money training with someone like that, and then you'll hopefully be opened up to lots of great opportunities.
When budgeting for equipment, what should be of top priority? Spend most of your budget on espresso machine and cheapen out on the grinder, or middle of the road espresso and good grinders?
Okay, when budgeting for your coffee machine and equipment budget, where do you spend your money? Don't cheapen out on your grinder. Don't. It is the key flavour part of your whole espresso. If you've got good, consistent grind, you're going to get a better flavour. Even on a poor quality bean, the grind is going to do all the work. The rest of it is all about how much volume you want to have and pump out coffees. So yes, thermal stability in a coffee machine is definitely the thing you want to look at, but that grinder can last you multiple coffee machines if you're growing. So if you've got a 2-group machine or you've got a 3-group machine, you know, you might change that over time, but you definitely want to be spending easily 30% of your coffee machine budget onto a grinder or multiple grinders. So you might have a single dosing grinder, which you can then offer single origins, decafs and other blends, as opposed to your main bean. But get yourself a really good grinder that's going to give you good flavour. We've got quite a few videos there, difference between conical flat burrs on those things as well.
Nickel said, I'm opening a coffee shop local. Do you have any beginner tips?
Mally, I think it might have been, is opening coffee shop local. Do I have any tips?
That's the name of it, local, L-O-K-A-L.
L-O-K-A-L.
Do you have any beginner tips?
Any beginner tips to opening a coffee shop? Yeah, there's lots. I mean, we've got a whole series of YouTube videos around actually design, layout and so on. But actual tips is make sure you are 100% ready before you open the doors. Do not open and practice on your customers. Make sure you've got an amazing quality product. Make sure you've got your menu nailed. Open up and serve your friends only. Do all of these things. Create some local hype before you actually open. Don't do a soft open and then try and see people that come in. Because people who love coffee will know that you're opening. And the first 10 people will be what the rest of your community is going to hear. So you've got to make that perfect. That's my golden rule.
How much does a regular cappuccino cost? How much are you selling it for?
Yep, so we've got 3 sizes, small, medium, large, which is 8 ounce, 12 ounce, 16 ounce. We're $4.50, $5.50, $6.50 here in Australia. If you're going to have some sort of syrup or something like that, or an extra shot, you're going to look at 80 cents extra. Alternative milk is going to be $1 on top of that. Yeah.
What coffee do you use?
We use Artisti beans wholly and solely. We're a roaster. We love them. We roast our own product. In our main bar here, we use our Champion blend. Thank you very much. A Champion blend there. So it's got Brazil, a little smidge of Brazil, Guatemalan, PNG, Colombia and Ethiopia in there, all specialty grade beans. Yeah, beautiful stuff. This is milk chocolate, maple syrup, jasmine. It's your everyday hero. That is our catchphrase. How good's that? It is a great product. It's great in milk or as black. So balancing that out in a blend is what you want to do. A lot of people get a coffee that they love and not what the customers are going to love or the market's going to love. So if you're opening a coffee, a cafe, find out what the local community like to drink and what they don't like. And don't just go and choose a coffee you like. You know, the community may like hot coffee and you're trying to serve weaker, milder, specialty, light roasted coffee, and you might not have a business at all because the community won't support that kind of product.
Tim Lewis just gave another $5 and said thanks for the content.
Cheers, Timmy. Thank you, mate.
How long have you been working in the job?
I've owned Artisti Coffee for 14 years. This is year 14. Prior to that, we had a cafe with my wife for just under 4 years. And prior to that, I studied hospitality and did all the restaurants and, you know, wine and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, that's kind of my history. Oh, can I beat that? Oh, I got it. Oh, is that a sugar?
Oh no, so it's like they all together.
He's got a sugar. Damn it. I thought it was a sugar. My apologies, I just saw a little mark.
Yeah, a little mind of, yeah, you know, they're all together.
Yeah, okay, I get you. What was that? That's a cap. Can you write a cap on that one? I don't know. I'm no longer involved in iMilk. Yeah, originally I was one of the initial founders in the product. I guess the idea of making cold milk machines and things like that came out of my side of the business. But yeah, I'm no longer involved in iMilk. So I think my number may still come up, but I don't have any answers for you on that. I'm sorry, but email, call. That's all I can do to help you. I'm sorry. Yep, sorry, yep, floody cap.
Morning, how are you?
I'm getting soggy pucks on water pool and how can I fix
Yeah,
it?
so we just take
Yeah, watch our latest YouTube video Jimmy did. Soggy pucks. Yeah, so the question was, you're getting soggy pucks and really wet pucks, how do you fix this? Jimmy just did a whole video on this. It's up now already, isn't it? Yeah, wet soggy pucks. And he covers all of these topics, so definitely go and look at that video. It'll answer all the questions for you. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you've got the right combination of coffee and age in there. So hard pucks, soft pucks, it's all covered in that video.
What is the correct temperature for an espresso machine from Mark B?
What is the correct temperature for an espresso machine? That is relevant to the roast profile of your coffee. If you've got a light roasted coffee, you need the temperature to be higher. So you'd want to be somewhere between 93 to maybe 96 degrees on a light roast coffee. Because it's more dense, you need a hotter water to basically take everything out of that bean. If you've got a medium or darker roast, you can go anywhere from 92 down to 89 degrees. So it's a matter of playing with that coffee and finding out which one actually tastes best in temperatures. But we set ours at 92.5 for our medium roast Champion blend.
Val said, I think Val was the first person who commented on this live, so he's been here a while.
Hey, Bal.
He's
Thanks
asked
for hanging in there.
questions, but he said your recent detailed video on group gaskets was great for such a small item. Nice one. Detailed videos are great.
Yeah, thank you. A lot of this content comes out off the back of the questions we get asked, and we spend a lot of time talking about group seals. I built the business from a tech perspective, so that conversation was really good for me to have and help our team understand it's not just a gasket. Like, we understand people want to save money and they want to get a. We're live. Sorry. You're welcome. Yeah, no, it's okay.
Oh no.
You're not seen at all.
Geez, you never know what I said.
No, it's okay. You're all good. It's very close just to my mic. Nothing will be up. You're fine. Yeah, group gaskets. Yeah, so it's a big conversation around the right one and bring it to a tech if you can. I mean, the summary is just buy a couple of group seals. You're probably going to get the wrong one, but are you really going to take up a lot of someone's time to get the right one? And we find that happens a fair bit. So.
Someone said, I never really understood what specialty coffee exactly is.
Okay, you never really understood what specialty coffee is. Well, specialty coffee firstly is a grade of coffee. So when you when we buy coffee, there's different grades you can buy. Just like anything, a higher produce to a lower quality produce. So we only buy a specialty grade coffee, which is they're just changing that. So I've got to double check the specific numbers, because specialty grade was sort of like 82 and above points in scoring. But when that grade actually is applied, some people, there's a bit of grey areas in those numbers as to how they come up to that actual score. So that's all been redefined, and I need to restudy the guides at the minute. But let's call it 84 and above is where we want to be for our coffee score. We then roast that to a flavour that's going to give us a much better taste. And we will use only specialty grade beans in our blends. And as you start to get higher into the high 80s and 90s and things like that, you've got single origin coffee, which is like a really fine wine. So it's a very particular product for a particular market. 1 sec. Simon? No?
Oh,
No? It's out here. Give me a sec, guys.
So what exactly are you doing?
Simon?
Yeah.
3, was it?
If it was free, that'd be nice, but yeah, 3.
3 for free? 3 for 3?
It's like a Q&A. All right, well, how about here's a question. Am I allowed to chuck that in?
You can. Yes. Have you got a coffee I've got to make, or are you getting beans?
No, this is just that.
An in-house question. Here we go.
In-house question. What's the secret to the stove top and getting it really rich and pure?
Okay, stovetop. What's the question was, what's the secret to a stovetop coffee and making it rich and pure and clean? I did a whole video on that, a YouTube video, so go and watch that. It would be the detailed one. The key thing is the amount of coffee to the amount of water is the key thing. And once it's boiling its way through, watching the flow that comes out, to when it gets too thin and pale or too bubbly, get it off the heat, get it under some cold water, cool it down really quick, and then you'll get your recipe much closer together. There you go. Yeah.
Check the video out.
Yeah.
Using a beer ladle. Using a beer ladle.
Ooh, a fly. That's weird. At this time of year. I need an espresso machine. Me too. I've got to get a new one. New machine's coming soon.
Would you choose single origin natural or a washed blend for espresso?
Wash blend. Single natural is a unique taste, and I kind of touched this on a little bit earlier. Depending on what kind of coffee you're going to serve to your local market, not everyone loves naturals and things like that, especially with milk. A clean, beautifully well roasted coffee is going to taste nice in for everybody. You know, a Colombian, a Guatemalan, PNG, Ethiopian, all these other clean processed coffees are just the good, a staple for everybody to enjoy.
How long can you go from roast date at home with a medium roast?
About 3 weeks. It's 3 to 4 weeks, depending on a lot of things there. But we go out to about 23, 24 days. Thanks, man. Have a good one. So if that is a non-vacuum sealed, nitrogen flushed product, yeah, you're going to get up to maximum 4 weeks, but you're going to see significant taste differences from 20 days out to 30 days. It's just going to start to taste like more strong coffee, and all the subtle flavors are going to disappear. From 0 to 7 days, you're going to have a lot of gas in there. You're going to get more, zippy kind of tarty kind of flavors on your tongue. That's the acids and the gases that are still in there. And that will replicate into the espresso when it's coming out. It might be a bit bubbly. So when that bubbles start to dissipate, which is probably going to be around 10 days to 14 days, you'll start to get a very even sweetness, acidity, body and balance from that 14 to 21 days basically.
Have you had Guatemalan El Penon beans?
I can't recall that I've had Guatemalan El Penon beans. No. I've tried a lot of Guatemalan coffees. I just don't. I can't recall that one. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's tasty. I'd love to taste it. Send us some.
Stu B's asking, can you post contact details for iMilk? If I can get nothing from email or web inquiry, thanks.
Sure. iMilk is the only way, website's the only way. Yeah.
I love the channel. I'm from Bahrain.
Thanks, Bahrain.
What's the maximum of time people have to wait for a coffee, like when there is a rush?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of the videos we've done in the past, people say, how long should people wait for a cup of coffee? If you're going over 5 minutes and you're waiting for a coffee, there's something wrong in that cafe. You can be as busy as you like. We've had historically cafes doing 80 to 90 kilos a week, and we were getting coffees out every 1.5 minutes. You have to be a production line. You have to be this well-oiled machine of someone taking orders, getting the grind on, and then flowing it. So the design and layout is really going to affect that amount of time. Every second does count. If you're watching what we've been doing here, payers taking orders, putting on the shots, and I'm looking at the orders and doing the milk and serving out. No one's waited too long at all. A little bit slower today with just the brain trying to talk to you all, but I think 3 minutes would be a really good achievement if you can do that. Making sure you've got things like auto tampers, auto grinding, really well set up shots, maybe some heating or froth milk options on the other end, and jug washers is definitely the way to look at it. And working as a team. So, I know Paya knows sort of where I'm at, and she's getting shots ready. And this is what we do. We actually get someone taking the order, so that hopefully by the time payers finish the order there, we can actually have low tide. Is that what you're saying there? Yeah, low tide. Yeah. The customer's not going to wait too long at all for their coffee.
What roast is good for hot and cold drinks at the same time?
What roast is good for hot and cold drinks? A medium roast. Medium roast would be the way to go. A city or a full city, something that's not too dark at all, just roasted about 20-25% past first crack. It'll be durable enough in milk, but also subtle enough in cold brewing.
Do you like V60 coffee?
I do. I enjoy it. I love black coffee, so look at this. Payer's run around, he's ready to serve it out. That was about how long for the coffee? Minute 20? Hot sleeve. Low tide. Oh! Don't go back. I made it wrong. Let's go again.
Take two. Too busy talking.
Take two. I don't make mistakes.
No. We're not human. Hey, look, Jake 50N was great.
Hey, Jake.
It was great to meet you at the Swans the other month.
Oh yeah, hey Jake. Yeah, it was good to see you. Thanks for saying good day, man. Appreciate it. It was great to watch the Swannies get up. That was an absolute fantastic game. Thanks for coming and saying hello, mate. Yeah. I didn't think I'd meet anyone at the Swannies game, but mate, appreciate it. Thanks for subscribing. I think you subscribed just after meeting me. I don't know if you need to meet me to be able to subscribe to our channel, but you can subscribe beforehand, that's fine. But yeah, if you do see Jimmy or I can't come to say good day, happy to answer any questions.
Again, that was the first person
Yep.
Just said thanks for everything. Look forward to your next vid. Got to sleep now. Almost midnight in the UK. Ben. So,
Thanks, Ben, for hanging in from the very start. Mate, you've been here the whole time. Enjoy your sleep. It's in the UK. It's very midnight-ish, I hear. Thanks, mate.
extraction time is a time-consuming and wasteful. What's your recipe? How many grams in and out, and how many seconds? What's our recipe?
What's our recipe? Yeah, someone asked something about time is was it?
Well, I think they just said extraction time is a time-consuming and wasteful, like with a sweaty smiley face sort of thing.
Oh,
Just saying,
time.
you know,
Okay, time. Yeah,
it takes
yeah.
time. But
It takes
anyway.
time to extract great coffee. You need time. There is no doubt about it. You need the right amount of time. So our recipe is 22.5 grams coffee. If we're looking for what's called a normal or a 2 parts of water to 1 part coffee ratio, which will give us 45 grams of end liquid weight here, we're looking for 30 to 32 seconds. That's pretty much good for all coffees, that kind of ratio. If you're going to use lesser coffee, like 18 grams, you might then come back to say 28 to 30 seconds, but you're going to have a lesser yield. So 18 is going to give you 36 grams of yield. You can't skimp on that time. You know, we always do the time from when we hit a button, which does have a pre-infusion to expand the coffee puck. If you don't have a pre-infusion, you might end up with a shorter, faster time on that as well.
Tim Lewis just jumped in there with a question for you. Another little donation. He said, "I drink from a different roaster every bag. Is that good or bad?"
Yeah, so when you drink coffee from everywhere, it's not a bad thing. It's great. It's what lots of local businesses. Is understanding if your skill and ability is able to really assess and understand that quality of the coffee that you're jumping around all the time. We always say to people when they buy a machine from us, just, we give you a coffee subscription for a couple of months or something like that, just to understand how to make coffee, how to deal with the produce and understand the expansion of the coffee, the age of the coffee, and really be quite repeatable in what you do. A lot of people go around and buy a machine and get coffee from all these different places. And the problem is you generally don't actually know how to extract good coffee because you're changing all the time, and you don't know whether it's the roast degree, the density of that coffee, the moisture, the age, or even the recipe for that specific coffee. And you can get a lot of bad experiences. I'll be honest. If you're not good at dialing in a coffee and doing that quickly, you're going to waste a lot of coffee. But it'll be different every single day. There's a reason why the big chains are so successful. We are creatures of habit, and people love consistency. So that's what they do really well. Consistently bad coffee, but it's the same thing. And if you've got the same sugar in there and the same sweeteners and whatever, you might just enjoy that.
Interesting question here. Do you have any information on how to reuse milk? Recently started at a new cafe and they only have one size jug and usually a decent amount of milk left in the bottom when doing a drink.
Okay, so you just started at a cafe and you've got a big bucket as a milk pitcher, and there's a lot of leftovers in there. How do you deal with that? Well, you get rid of that jug. That's the first thing. The timing between making lots of individual coffees and the variety of milks that we have. I mean, right here I've got a full cream, a light, an oat, an almond, and a soy. I can't just have one big jug. We've got so many varieties happening there. And if time it takes to heat up a really big jug is quite long. So you want some more flexibility. So get yourself some smaller jugs. By having smaller jugs, you can have far less waste because there you go, that's the waste out of that last one I did, the low tide flat white. And then these are the last 2 bigger ones that I've just done. There you go, I'm literally pouring out the exact amount. Now I'm manually pouring into there and getting the right amount of foam for them. So you need to do that. That waste is only happening because you keep topping up the big jug with the excess in there. You're never going to make a proper flat white cappuccino or latte if you've got a big jug like that. Your flavour of your coffee is going to be out every single time. Re-adding milk into hot steamed milk is just not a good outcome, not a good taste. So change jugs. If you had to deal with it, I don't know, use a little bit in other jugs if you have to, but no more than 10% reused old milk.
Shimon said, "Damn, I'm struggling at my shop to get the drinks out that fast, but there isn't enough business to always have multiple people at the bar. Really a spiral for disaster."
Yep. So when you're not able to get coffees out quickly and you've only got not enough volume for that, but you've only got one person that's struggling to do it, you have to design your setup to be able to handle volume as one person and also with two people. A lot of cafes forget that they have to invest in people to be able to get more volume per hour. So there's probably a max capacity on one person. The way I've sort of always explained it to people is if you've got two cafes side by side and they've both got queues, but one cafe seems to get through that queue a lot quicker and they're pumping out better coffee, essentially they will win over time, because the other cafe, people will stand in a queue and they're like, oh, gee whiz, he's come in and got his coffee and he's gone, and he's really happy because he's smiling and enjoying a great product. So investing in better equipment, systemizing workflow, and having a better product to be faster is definitely going to help those things. So you want to then turn over more people per hour. The more people you can turn over more hour, the more they're going to talk to other people as well, and continually grow. So at some point you have to take a leap and put another person on for sure.
Tim replied about the different roast every bag. He said, how could I not know? I watch Artisti vids.
Tim just replying, how could he not know he watched Artisti vids? Yeah, yeah, definitely just, yeah, I mean, go on a journey.
Tim's going to have to come
cool.
out here one day and pay a visit and have a coffee here.
Yeah, when are you coming, Tim? Come say g'day. Yeah, I think we need to, we've got some bigger plans to look to get around the world and do some things for sure, but we're sort of stuck here at the moment, roasting and packing and doing a lot of things, but yeah, it's definitely a big season for us. Interestingly, a lot of people want us to, it's winter now for us, and our peak season is from June all the way to December. So our financial year is into June. So we're really busy in this next month, and then it's a little bit quiet there for a little bit. But September, October, November, December is just our busiest peak times of the year. So we're actually the quietest in January, February, March, and April. So that's where we'd have our development time or travelling time. So we'll have to start planning that a bit.
Time to wrap it up.
Time to wrap it up. All right. Hey, Nikki, how are you? Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you very much, Paya.
Thank you, Sia.
Wonderful job there. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate you hanging in there. Great questions, as always. Really appreciate you answering them. Yeah, if you just joined us now, I'm sorry. We're going to cut this off, but go back to the very start. Enjoy the whole, I don't know, hour and a bit of 87 minutes of talking, answering questions live with you all. So thanks very much. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for your support. If you don't already, please go do like and subscribe. We really do appreciate it. We want to grow our channel. We're at 160,000, nearly 160,000 subscribers on YouTube. Please, if you're there, do it now. It's not going to hurt you. We're just going to pop up in your feed, but it's definitely going to give us better, referral videos and growth. And also, if you don't like our content, maybe it's not your topic, just watch it. Just hit play, turn the volume off. We appreciate it. A watch and a view all the way through is definitely going to support us and help us grow. So thank you very much. Do a kick flip. I can't do a kick flip. It's been years since I've done a kick flip. I broke my arm and my wrist skateboarding, so I'm off the decks, that's for sure. Thanks very much, everyone. Really appreciate you. We'll catch you next time. Latest video coming up this Thursday, Ryan. What is it? Tomorrow night. What is it?
Programming buttons on a coffee machine.
Jimmy's going to talk about programming buttons on a machine, how you do it generally, just to help you and support. Last week's was on group seals, how to pick the right group seal and change it. So some great content there. All right. Cheers, everyone. Catch you next time. Thanks.